Graphic content episode 16. Damn. Yes, indeed. So I'm Who That Comics. It's Boston Chris. Thank you again for joining us for graphic content. Make sure you thumbs up, like, share, leave a comment, all that good stuff. There's so much to talk about, so much to address. I do want to share really quickly the super chat giveaway. If you guys want to know more information, let me know. So I'll just do that. I'll talk about it more at the very end. But Chris, man, it's a lot going on, man. And a lot of news has been dropping. A lot of what else? They had they're talking about the actors strike should be over this week because today they gave a deadline today. It's supposed to be a deadline today, but a lot of leaks have been happening from major actors saying the word is out that the strike is going to be over by the end of the week. So a lot of major actors have been hearing it.
I saw that. So before getting anyone's hopes really high up, I did read something that they said that they're going to be negotiating into the weekend. So they're in talks. It sounds like I mean, from what it sounds like is that there's a few things that I guess they're not quite on board with. Like it's trying to figure out, iron out the real details. But in the end of it, it sounds like it's in a good way. So they're going to keep talking and try to figure things out. Just because, I mean, let's be honest, the studios know that they're not making any kind of money, and really, I mean, as far as them thinking we'll stop the actors out and it'll be like this, it's not. I think both sides are kind of realizing that it's not really full out productive, and they need to be able to go back to work. So, hopefully that comes to an end, and they can start getting back to working on some of these things because, I mean, whether people realize it or not, like that, that there's stuff that you're thinking about that's, it's gonna, this movie's coming out and they're talking about this project and that project. It's gonna be about probably 3 years before you get anything. Things got pushed way back. Like everything that's in the can, they can kind of go forward with, but things that aren't, it's gonna be a while. So
and stuff that was supposed to come out next year, is gonna give it a year. It includes a lot of stuff that was almost done. So, because they already talked about Dune. Dune got pushed back a year as soon as the strike got announced for, I think, the writers or something. Because people forget the director actually wrote Dune. So that got affected. So stuff like that, which Dune is his own. Dune, not Dune, but the studio is its own worst enemy on that aspect because that movie should have been shot back to back and it wouldn't be in that issue. But like you said, it's not productive on both ends because they're trying to prove a point, like I guess the producers or the studios, I should say, not the producers, but the studios. And it's like, you do realize that promoting your projects, the actors, when they do that, helps out. And,
of course.
And I think I've noticed it a lot that when you get no promotion, like people follow those actors and actresses on social medias and other platforms, and they might not follow the studios that they work for. So people who love or hate Brie Larson, people who hate Brie Larson aren't going to go to the movie for Marvels anyway, but people who love her and appreciate that she's a good actress because she won an Academy Award, they're like, I don't really pay attention to the news or trailers. I didn't even know the Marvels came out. Like, a lot of them might not even know it because they don't follow them on. So it's like, that's why it's like I said, it's not productive on both ends.
Well, I mean that, and then the fact that things that you are hoping to get out, things that you are hoping would be on their way, or just we're planning on doing this. Like, I mean, just think of it. So they have Loki, and they're doing all this stuff with Kang and everything like that, and you have to think about how they were going to get to that Avengers movie, which is the Kang Dynasty, and all like that's probably not. I mean, you have to think they have to set up all that stuff, and we can talk a little bit more about the whole Kang thing too, just because
it's go right into that
it's kind of a hard thing because as much as that's been a roller coaster and it's all over the place, and the thing is that he's going to trial, I think, on the 29th of the 29th of this month. He's going to trial, and really a lot of that hinges, or a lot of those future plans hinge on what happens in that trial. So hopefully, everything works out and, he ends up being found not guilty, everything works. But if not, then, you have a pretty significant thing that you have to now. So it's already been pushed back and you were counting on this to work. And now you got to try to figure out what you're going to do. Are you going to recast him? How are you going to go ahead? And it's not to say that you can't recast him, but it's just, you got to sit there and do all this stuff all over again and hope that, whoever you get to refill those shoes does, as good a job, or if not better than what he's done so far. And really the funniest thing I think with that is the guy that I would have said you probably should have used, they use as the High Evolutionary. So it's like that would have been an easy switch to be like, oh, we need that guy. Like that guy's going to be our Kang. We switch a couple of things, and that's a variant of Kang, and he's going to be the actual real one. Because the one thing that they're, I guess, clinging on to is that you don't know who the real one is really yet. So the hardest part with all that, like you were saying, is that a lot of people don't follow the actors; they just kind of follow different things. So it's tough with that. And I know that was it one source that I've seen a lot of stuff on, and it seems like the people that run Comic Book Resource, CBR, they hate his guts for some reason. Like, because they cannot wait. Just every time something happens with that story, and it's like looking positive for Jonathan Majors, they're like, "Oh, this guy's in so much trouble. Look, he's back in the news again." Like they always put like kind of like a negative look to it, and it's just like like they could say like,
well, the funny thing with the Jonathan Majors situation. So, I mean, it's public. A lot of stuff is videos and stuff. So
yeah,
Jonathan Majors, the prosecution. All right, so his lawyer all said they got all these videos. He said all this, and they tried to tell probably, hey, you might want to drop this before it gets too far. The prosecution actually went as far as to go to the judge to drop the charges because of all the evidence to prove on his side, and the police end up arresting the accuser. I think that had just happened, but
yeah,
what pushed it what's pushing it along is not the prosecution. It's not the police. It's actually the judge. The judge dismissed. They said they moved to drop the charges, and it said the judge. What did I say? So something that said the judge refused to drop. Yeah, it says since everything has been dropped. Right here, he still set to face trial as the judge denies dismissal of criminal. So like I don't know who's going to prosecute because the judge doesn't even want to deal with. I mean, not judge with the prosecution, and so he needs to ask for a change of venue or something because that, like, if the prosecution is actually saying, "Look, we're trying to dismiss," the police arrest the accuser because of the evidence and the lies, but the judge says, "No, we're going to go forward." Hold on. All right, so you're trying to displace all reality to make this go further and to hurt my. But what's New York? You love and hate New York, but certain things dealing with their laws and stuff, I've heard that they love to get sued. So I hate to see them go through this because of the judge, and then Jonathan Majors chooses New York and he wins. On that side. Let me say hello to a few people real quick. Great Legends in the house. We got Brother John. What's going on, Brother John Comics? How are you doing this evening? Jigs is in the house. What's going on, Jigs? And Cali Comics, who I would love to have on the show one day. Him and Jigs, and actually Legend. I'd like to have all these guys on the show and talk some stuff.
I want to know. Yeah. I want to know from Cali. Did he exact the candy tax, and what tax is good this year? The Halloween candy tax.
Did you let people? It's saying, did you give candy out, or did you charge them? But yeah, like I said, the Jonathan Majors thing is this. It's at this point it's silly, if you know what I mean. It's not, and not saying that. And I don't let people know. Not silly that what's going on. They have the domestic stuff. At this point, it's silly because the people who are trying to try you actually said, "Look, they want to drop the charges basically because they know you're innocent. So, but it's like,
if anything, I mean, I would say if anything, I guess it kind of helps. But then again, it's just like, I mean, it's weird just because if they don't think, if the people that are trying to prosecute him don't believe that they have a case, then I mean, I don't know how that. I don't understand how that works. Whereas it's like, yeah, we have no case. Well, we're still going to try it anyway. Okay, well, but we're going to lose. So why? How about instead of putting all these resources towards this and taking a loss, we just say, you know what, just let it go. I just look at it where it's like, I think that him being on trial and all the rest of this type of stuff, I like him as an actor, so I'd like to see him get done with this. I'd like to get to the point where it's just like, okay, so you had this happen and now it's been kind of it's been, I guess, resolved and you can move forward, just because really and that really is kind of a big thing, because I really don't want there to be the strike that held things up, and now you have this other huge problem that now they have to kind of go back and say, all right, this is the major direction of the MCU, and now it's being held up because of all this crazy shit. And it's just like, all right, so now we got to find a new actor, a new Kang, hope that this guy can do the job well enough, and or you also run the risk of them doing something that, like, changing things so much that it's like, yeah, no, people don't enjoy this, because if they have to recast them, people are gonna lose their minds. It's like, oh, the MCU and well, comes the next, this guy sucks, the other guy was better.
And the funny thing is, people are jumping all on this rumor that was like past tense, because when all the initial stuff with Jonathan Majors came out, they were thinking about switching gears and going to Doctor Doom. A lot of people are jumping on that saying, oh man, they're going to be doing Doctor Doom. And you're like, hold on. They were thinking about it. And then all this stuff has come out. And then, like I said, the prosecution wants to drop the charges, dismiss the charges. They're going to finish Kang. We're going to get a full Kang. Because Disney would have dropped them by now. Let's be honest. Disney gets rid of people quick. So I'm assuming that the lawyer really had all that evidence ahead of time. Probably sent it to Disney first before he sent it to the New York prosecutors. He probably said, "Hold on, before you fire us, look at this." So he did all that stuff. Why is she in the club dancing? I think they kind of saw. Obviously we know. Not I think we know they saw all the videos. They took all the witness statements. They probably even had him drug tested. Let's be honest. I mean, all kind of stuff with Jonathan Majors probably happened, and everything probably came out positive. And the best thing to do, and I hate to bring this up to people, but we got a mixed variety of people in the chat. The best thing to do to hurt a person, a black male of money or color or fame, whatever. Black male or a person of color who's a male. Best thing to bring them down is make them look like the angry person, especially a black male. You make him look like the angry black guy, and he all he do is beat women and they're angry. That helps stuff out. So so I'm hoping. I know they're trying to look at old stuff that he's got arguments with, disagreements with, and you guess what? Everybody doesn't have a great day. Everybody's not always happy 100% of the time. So, and some people take that as them being rude or them being angry, or we all have lives, and not every experience you have with a person is everybody else's experience. Let's say it like that.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, I hope they stick with it. I hope this all gets resolved. I like that Disney is sticking, like not sticking by him, but staying out of the way, letting the courts decide, because they've learned their lesson on a few cases and they kind of regret it. So we saw what happened with the Johnny Depp situation. They jumped the gun on that one because of not Europe, but England's findings in his case, and Disney forgot to realize that, hey, you're in the U.S. Like, don't listen to another country. Let's find out what happens in the U.S. And then when they found out on his favor in the U.S., they were like, "Oh, Johnny, please come back." And he was like, "Nah, I'll still do what I'm doing for the kids and surprise kids, but I'm not going to work with you guys." And they regret it now. And what he's doing is the smart thing. He's sitting low key because he know that was a lot of hype. It's a lot of hype. So he's staying low key, and guess what? He's gonna come back with full form. So we got a lot of people put stuff in the chat. Jig said facts. Great Legend said he loved him in Creed 3. I still haven't watched Creed 2 or 3. I'm very upset with myself. Relationships are hard, man, when you're in a light. So yeah, that's true. That's why I always said I would rather be rich than famous. I don't want to be famous at all.
Yeah, no, there's no way.
The grand being bring back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. And Brother John says the angry black man stereotype and the road rage narrative started the second this was reported without having any facts. Exactly. And I'm happy you said that, Brother John, because a lot of people. I'm trying to figure out the right way to say it. A lot of people don't see it like you just typed it, and don't look at the facts. They just look at that, and you're like, come on, man. Like, let's get some facts before you just say this person's the angry this or the road rage this or the roid rage, because they can have somebody who's very fit, and he got to be on roids, he's roid rage.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm happy you said it because a lot of people don't deal with that, and a lot of the studios and the public don't deal with that, and. Hate to say it, myself, Chris, we might have to deal with that in the past. Jigs might have to deal with that, especially him being in the military. So it's like stuff that we gotta walk on eggshells. If that makes any sense when we have our reactions or our emotions. So I don't want to get too deeper into that on my side, but that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing too, where you have that is like, like I really like if you honestly if you go like if you follow comic book resources or like the initial CBI, if you follow that on Instagram, like they have been like, you would think it's a personal, like they have a personal like stake in seeing Jonathan Majors go down the way they report this shit, just because like everything is like just so negative. It's just like, oh, oh, he's back in trouble. Oh, big trouble for this one. The MCU's and and like that they go ahead and they put it in that way that it just makes it seem like no matter what they're reporting, even if it's positive, like, oh, this guy's in trouble, like he's going away, and you shouldn't get your hopes up because he's not coming back. It's like, relax, just let the thing play out and see what happens. Right? Because honestly, a lot of that was kind of a lot of the way that it was with Johnny Depp too. Like you said, like people was like, oh, Johnny Depp, he's all done. Like he ruined his career and he's all, and it's just like, no, he like once that trial started up and he was able to like, people watched it and saw like, dude, this girl's the one that's full of shit. Like he's just, and it was one of those things where it got to be kind of funny to watch. And then it was like kind of sad seeing how badly like they were trying to like defame him. And then he came out on top and now he's just like, I just want to live my life. I just want to be left alone. That's all I want.
And shout out to, my boy Hack is back. It's nice to see Hack. A lot of people might not remember Hack, but I'm happy to see Hack back. Bleeker had a joke to go along with this, but so it's kind of funny. But what's up, Bleak? Bleak's in the building. We got Wolverado. We got a lot of people joining in, and I kind of agree with Brother John. CBR is on the trash side. They're more of like a satire information. They do have information at time, but that's like they kind of. Like it's almost like an Inquirer, you know what I mean? It's
exactly. That's what I was looking for. Saying like it's just it's all like just like tabloid in a way. I mean, sometimes it is good. Like sometimes they're like, oh, like this is looking pretty good. Like, okay, or did you know that this is happening? No, I didn't know that was happening. But their coverage of Jonathan Majors though has just been like, it's just real bad. It's like they do. I think the person that runs it or whoever writes it. Whoever's in charge of writing it does not like him at all, and they want to see him. It started off
with Johnny Depp too. If you remember, it started off bad with Johnny Depp. All of his, he's crazy, he's this, that, and the other, all kinds of stuff. And then when the stuff started coming out with Amber Heard, they jumped on her. Like, crazy female. She's shitting on the bed.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, even though that was true, they jump on things and you're like, hold up, like stop it.
Yeah,
like, you're not even close to TMZ. I trust TMZ more than you guys. So
well, the thing that I see with that too is that like when it comes down to it all, it's just like all that had to play out. And like I'm not a fan of Amber Heard at all, but I look at it like this: it's like, all right, that woman, like the fact that type of stuff came out about her, and that like she's not gonna work again. So there's really no need to pile on and say all that shit about her, really, just because it's like, okay, like she's done. Like it's just like she's never gonna do anything ever again. She's pretty
nothing
much
major, nothing major, nothing major.
And she lost a ton of money, in that whole thing. So she's hurting. Like so you don't have to drag it to them. Like the verdict of that case just destroyed everything for her. So she's gonna have to lay low for a long time. And don't be surprised if you see her greeting at Walmart at some time. She's like,
no, she's not gonna go that bad. But don't be surprised if you see her open an OF page. I'll say that. I say you making a face, but they got a lot of weird people out there, and she would probably make a ton of money. I hate to say it.
No, but that's the first thing I'm thinking is she gonna do something gross.
There'll be a ton of people. Like that's sad how much people have. Neither here or there, but there's a lot of people that got money to spend on stuff. And you're like, where y'all get this money from? But yeah, she would make a ton of money on that. I'm sorry. She would. So she ain't gonna never have to go to Walmart, but she might have to open up that page.
I mean, she might be better off going to Walmart. It's like, look, save some dignity, lady. Go to Walmart. Talk to some
I know you live that lifestyle, bro. You said money look good, and then when money look good, if she could open up a page and make $1 million in one day, she probably would do it.
I don't think she can, to be honest with you, because I mean, she's
she's not young anymore. Yeah, look, feet. Yep, we could write about that. Feet. Hey, she could be doing the feet pics.
You never know.
Taking feet pics with Snicker bars and saying it's something else.
I like that. No, I like what Kelly said, because that reminds me.
I bought Blue Beetle today. Somehow I lost it before I got home. Was looking forward to watching it.
Do you know that's a sign? I'm gonna tell you right now, Kelly. That is a sign. Do you know why I know that? Because I did the same thing with, I think it was like World of Warcraft. It was $1 to get started. Like, this is the trial version. You get this. And so I paid $1. I was like, I want to try to play World of Warcraft. I remember I bought it at Best Buy for $1. I was on my way back home. I got it and I was just sitting there. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, where did it? And I literally went in the house. I know I had the bag that had it in there. Opened the bag. It was gone. And I was just like, I dropped it. I went back outside, looked in the driveway, everything. I couldn't find it. So it's a sign.
I'll tell you something about World of Warcraft. I don't know how it is now. I remember playing it in college, and like every time they had an expansion, it took hours to like download it.
Yep.
I couldn't imagine I couldn't imagine me starting over. I don't remember my doggone World of Warcraft stuff anyway, so I probably have to start completely over. But yeah, I couldn't imagine download that now.
Oh no!
I don't know. I know the internet's faster now, and the memory's bigger in computers now, but I still don't know how long it would take.
I never played 1 second of that game because I lost the thing and I was like, whatever, and I never played it. And people I knew played it and like, you should play. And it's probably a good thing I never did.
Well, I'll tell you one thing else about that game. The game got so big and so hard. I think the last expansion I didn't get, but I was thinking about getting, but I ended up stopped playing. That expansion, once you got all of the stuff up to that expansion, even if you're a new player, your character started off at like a certain level automatically.
Yeah.
They had to start you off at that level because all the other creatures were so strong. So you're like, here's your level 100 character. And you're like, how did I get to 100? Like when I played it, when I had to play from level 1, and I'm in the woods chopping trees down, and then a little rabbit come on, I like kill a little rabbit with a little sword, and I'm leveling up that way. It's like it took days. And now people just got like, here you go, here's a character. So I think that's kind of why I stopped playing, because it kind of ticked me off, because people could literally jump on a game and have the same level character as me, like automatic. Because I wasn't at that level when the expansion was at. Yeah, I didn't have that level yet. But when the expansion came, it was like automatic. So it's kind of like I was like, really? I said that kind of defeated the purpose. Like,
Well, you know what? What you said happened to me with City of Heroes. I remember playing that game. That's the only kind of game I made my character max power, and I was beating things up, and I was doing good. And like the the training city, and I was like, all right, cool. And the guy's like, oh, like if you want to get experience, you got to go to wherever and I go to like Riverside or something. And I was like, okay, I'll go to Riverside. Little did I know that Riverside was all full of like tough enemies. So I get off the platform, and then because you can fly when you're in the city, but like to go from city to city, you have to go on a train. So I get off the train, and the enemies just beat the shit out of me, like literally beat me and killed me, and I'm on the ground like dead. And then this guy comes on, and is like, oh, what happened to you? And I'm like, and he's like, why don't you power back up? I was like, I can't. I'm only. It's like, wait. And the guy yelled at me, he's like, you're only at level 9. You can't be here. Like, what are you doing? And I was like, someone told me to come here. And then the guy gave me like a potion so I can get back. I walked about 3 steps. Something came in and punched me in the face and knocked me out again. So my character, Max Power, is on a train platform in Riverside, just dead. He's probably skeleton by now because he's been sitting there for years. And that was, my experience with those MMOs like that. Like I only played that one for that, brief period of time, and that was it. Because the next time I tried to go into the game, I loaded into the same place and I could never escape. So I'm like, oh, this is stupid. I'm not gonna sit there and create a new account. I'm just gonna not play anymore. But I agree. I definitely think that that's a sign. Callie was not supposed to see Blue Beetle at all. So no Blue Beetle for you. You gotta wait till it comes out on television or Max or whatever it comes out on. And what sucks about that is that you can't even get your money back from Target or wherever you got it from. So hopefully you find it and you get to watch it. And if not, then I don't know. You just dropped what, $15? Or I don't even know how much DVDs are.
No, but sorry, my daughter was calling me. But it's so video games is something else, as long as I say. But what else? The Mahershala Ali. I forgot. I want to talk about that too. Since we were talking about Jonathan Majors, about him almost quitting. Until they got the writer for Logan to end up doing a whole rewrite of the whole script. So I mean, I like the Logan movie. So that's
great.
So I'm curious to see how he's going to do the twist with the Blade, because of the age of Mahershala Ali. I don't think they should start him off as like a new Blade. I think he needs to be like he's been.
I don't think they can really.
I think why he need to figure out how he's been doing this, but you can't. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I'm happy they got away from what they were going, because Mahershala Ali literally read that original script and almost walked away from that one because there was like only one action scene, and the movie wasn't really about him.
I saw something where, and I don't know how true this is specifically. I know that somebody was paraphrasing what basically was said, but they said that like basically it was something where the story had been, I guess, focused around 3 women, and so he went from being, it's a Blade movie. It's supposed to be about him, and he ended up being like I guess in terms of importance, the 4th one down on the list, and it's like he literally had nothing to do with it. And I guess it would, the stuff that was going on is that he was learning life lessons and shit like that, and I'm like, where does Blade ever get life lessons from that? In anything, I mean, anything at all, other than fighting or something like that. And it just made me wonder. Like, so would they put like Full House? Is this like Full House Vampire Edition? I don't understand, because it just sounded stupid from what they said. So I'm like, it doesn't make any sense at all as far as why they would try to take a character like that and go in that type of route, or like we're gonna make it a family movie. Like you can't. You literally cannot. I don't give a shit how hard you try. It is not a family movie. So it doesn't make any sense. It almost seems like somebody was trying to tank that. Whoever was in charge of it seems like they were trying to tank it. But like, and it just almost seems like, like, did you, I mean, and that's something I would look at Disney and be like, did you do your due diligence on this? Like what kind of product do you want to make? Because why would you? I mean, this person got you a script and you look at it and like, this is not Blade. Like, I don't know what like vision you have of this character, but like, it's almost like they had to someone trying to make like Twilightify Blade, and it's just like that's not going to happen. You can't do that.
Yeah, and I'm like, and people, and they don't have to. Blade, they could just have Blade under the Marvel banner. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. I think they're like Disney's like afraid on some cases, but it's like you have an out. You know you can make it under like the Marvel banner, or even you could put all the Marvel stuff under the Fox banner, whatever you want to do. But I know every time I see a Marvel movie, it doesn't say Disney; it says Marvel.
Yeah, no,
Marvel
exactly.
Marvel Studios. So you have your out, Disney. You don't have to. You can let Marvel projects be made like they're supposed to be made on that end. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I don't know what the big deal with that was, because because obviously Deadpool's gonna be made under not Fox, but it's gonna be made under what is it called? Because like it was Fox Studios. I forgot what it's
Fox Searchlight or whatever.
It's like Fox 40th Century Fox, and they took out the Fox word. Now it's just 40th Century, I think.
Mm.
So I think they're gonna make Deadpool under the 40th Century banner, but it's a Disney movie, so it's like you have your leeway. You could just make the Marvel movies and put them under Marvel Studios, like everything that had to be a Disney princess. That's what I think they worried about.
I don't even think it's that. I think that I think that what happened. I mean, what could end up happening is that I'm wondering how like involved someone like Kevin Feige is on that project. So I have a feeling that he's not. And I think that really, when you look at it, like, because if you look at it in that way, so Eternals is where you hear, his voice. So that's his cameo, the voice of, and it's just like, but he's attached to Eternals, which wasn't really all that great. And the problem is just that the director, I don't think, really understood the Eternals. Like, I don't think they understood really what they're trying to make. So I wonder if it was kind of more that direction where it's like Feige is more hands off on this one. So we'll kind of let,
Yeah, but I think what happened with Feige and Eternals was, I think he gave award-winning director more leeway than he probably should have, because she honestly, just look at the Eternals, look at the visuals. She made a beautiful looking movie.
Yeah,
the look of that movie is beautiful.
Except for
well, that was CGI. I'm talking about like the human characters.
Oh, the visuals of it were good.
The human characters, the colors, the costumes, all that stuff. That was done. That was her ideas and her shots and stuff like that. The Deviants,
I remember
that they were odd. Weren't bad. I've seen worse alien-looking creatures. But it is odd. We never had anything with them, so that's why it was kind of odd. But it was actually a very eye-pleasing movie. What's up, Jay Hood? Jay Hood and Hawaiian Punch in the building. He said Puncher says they need him to show up in Blade, I guess.
Yeah. Well, like I can agree with you on that. Where it's like, like I think Blika mentions this a lot, and I think part of the problem is that sometimes they're trying to make things so cinematic, where it's like, all right, this is what you do, this is how you make this movie, this is how you build it out. But it's like, yeah, but it's not like you're not trying to make like Avatar. You're trying to make an action movie, so it doesn't work. Like, where Avatar can work in that way, and really going back and looking at it, Avatar was visually pleasing, but if you go back and watch it like the first one again, it's not really that good. Like it really, at the time, it overwhelmed you because of how good it looked.
It's just a rip-off movie.
Yeah, but the thing, the thing comes where it's like, it's just, I wonder if that was more of a thing where it's just like, if the people that were going to do Blade were more of that kind of offshoot of, all right, like, so we have these award winners and we'll give these people more creative freedom. So it's like, all right, you come up with the script. We'll trust you to come up with the script, and we want to see what you have. And then they saw it and they're like, what the fuck is this? And that's not the only project that they did that with. That they've had to go ahead, like what's it called? The Daredevil, same thing. They was just like, what is this? Like, this is not going to work. You can't have a court drama where the guy's going to be Daredevil. You call Daredevil and have it be Daredevil.
He already appeared as Daredevil, so it's not like you're hiding anything.
It's like we can't. Nobody wants to see Matt Murdock decide cases. Like that's not happening unless it's tied to him in the streets. But
and I think I don't know if you misunderstood what we were saying about being beautiful. We didn't say it was a beautiful movie. We just saying how it looked. And
no, like visually, it was
visually. We're talking about the eyes of people who are not deep in the comics and can pinpoint everything that's wrong with stuff. We're just talking about as far as visuals of a person looking at something to say it looked beautiful. As far as certain scenes look good. I'm sorry. I didn't say the movie was great, and I didn't say it was a beautiful movie. It's just.
No. It wasn't. We're not saying that it's just it's just one of those things where it's just like like they tried to make something that looked really grand and big and make this big scale thing, and and so there was a lot of scenes that looked really really cool and really pleasing, and it's just like unfortunately though it's just like it just wasn't. It wasn't something that you're gonna get. I'll say this. Who could appreciate something like that? Star Trek fans. Star Trek fans could appreciate a movie like that because that's more their pace. But comic fans that were looking for this is going to be like some big shift and it's going to be some really cool thing to look at. A really cool thing. It just fell short.
You know who else I think is people who have no idea about comics too, because at the end of the day, it was just a movie. It was almost a movie about people who are not from Earth. And aliens trying to take over, you know what I mean? So it's like it was almost like a sci-fi movie at the end of the day. So I know people who might not know anything about the Jack Kirby Eternals and all that stuff. They would actually probably enjoy it because it was like a love story as well in there. So it had a lot of stuff that really, if you're not a comic fan at all, you probably would like. But it had its flaws. It had its flaws, and not as many flaws as some other movies that were on this the 10-year slate of MCU movies that people love so much. Some of those movies were worse than Eternals, and people hate to admit it.
Yeah, the thing was the point of where it came out because it's following it, so everybody's expecting all right, so you left us up here, so are we going to the next rung of the ladder with this one? It's like no, we're gonna try to And they couldn't do it. But then again, you can look at it like Mario. The Mario Brothers movie was great. Yeah. It was really really good. But you can say, I know there's purists out there that like my friend Jamie. I'm pretty sure would sit there and be like, man, that's some bullshit. What the hell is Bowser sitting there singing love songs to Peach for? Like, why would he do that? He doesn't like her. It's not that and it's just like. But that's the way he looked at it.
People who really. Because you ask a lot of people who really, really know movies, that story was terrible for Mario. But no, I didn't say it wasn't a great movie. The storyline, the story. I have to clarify. I enjoyed the movie a lot. It had a lot of stuff, that nostalgia that brought people back. It had a lot of things that I was like, ooh. But when you really tell the story was bad. But it had enough of the nostalgia, enough of the oh man, this stuff to make you forget that what is going on with the story? You know what I mean? So that the story was bad, but the movie was good. I enjoyed it because it entertained me and it did what it was supposed to.
So I'm gonna disagree on Jay Hood's thing here because I'll tell you, I'll give you a reason why. They end up with a fight in the wilderness for the most part, usually. So when you're looking at the hero movies, they're not going to try to fight in a city that's populated with people because they don't want to kill all the people. They established that in the first Avengers movie.
Well, they established that in Man of Steel too. A lot of people's gripe with Man of Steel is that they're fighting in a city. You know how many millions of people are dying?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's just because a lot of people will be like, wow, they're not fighting this and that. Yeah, the villain wants to take it to the city, and then the heroes are like, no, we got to do this over here. I'll keep them away from this. You can't forget that their first priority as heroes is to stop the villain, but to minimize the damage on it. So it's just like, you're not going to go from somewhere where you had civil war and they were all going to arrest everybody who was causing all this trouble to now being like, yeah, let's fight in the middle of Boston and see what happens. Like, no, we're not going to do that.
And then, like in that quick fight scene, I think it was with Thor. It was a Thor, Cap, and Iron Man. You remember that? It was like literally like maybe 30 seconds or a minute.
Yeah.
When he hit the hammer, imagine that going off in the city.
Oh yeah.
And this is before Avengers and they actually fought in the city. This is the heroes getting a little scuffle. If he would have hit that hammer on the shield in the city, yeah, people surrounding their area probably within a few hundred feet would have probably been dead.
Yeah, that and when what's it called? When Iron Man's suit was like charged like 4,000%, he's like, yeah, no, let's blast some of this back, and he blasts.
Yeah. He's like,
there was buildings there, like
he's like, oh, that's something. All right, let's blast it back at him.
Yeah. Like the next time they had a fight that was big like that was crazy was Avengers 2 when the Hulk lost his mind, or when Scarlet Witch messed with the Hulk's mind, and then and you saw, and because but that's they're building up to Civil War and then being like, okay, like we cannot keep doing this. So that's why those movies, at least in the Marvel universe, take place in wide open fields and all this, so that they can actually have a real fight. Because I mean, as much as everybody wants to, it's not like the comics where they can sit there and kind of do their own thing and not have to answer to it. It's just like one of those things where it's on screen, and now the writers brought up the fact that you can't just be doing this in the middle of wherever, even though in every comic they always have a battle in the middle of the New York City or wherever, and they're just ripping shit to pieces and no one cares. It's because no one ever thought about it, But once they introduce that in the actual comics, then it's like, all right, well, this is something in real life, and I'm pretty sure that
And to add on to the stuff with the movie stuff, Marvel needs to get on this side, and I hate to harp on it a little bit more. They can keep everything connected, but every movie doesn't have to be connected. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think they have to do it like that either.
Like people who follow the movies already know it's all connected. You don't have to show us that it's connected. We know it's all connected. So Blade can actually have an adventure and not have to worry about Spider-Man showing up. I'm just saying. He can have his storyline, because in the comics, like you said, you're talking about in the comics, you read something, they were having their own things, and they said, "Oh, where's the Fantastic Four? Oh, they're off in space doing this. Oh, where's such and such? They're off doing this." So, everything's connected, but
I mean, they did that in the beginning. Yeah. They did that definitely in the beginning.
Yeah, they did.
Guardians was like not even close to connected. I was like, how are they gonna bring? And then it was like, all right, then you kind of interweave them together, and it's like, oh, okay, so this is how it kind of works together, and I think that can we make the characters look like the comics? I mean, a lot of those. I'm gonna tell you, as much as you want it to be that way, some of the costumes, especially like the originals, don't work.
They don't transition well on camera. They don't. I'll answer that the nice way. A lot of stuff doesn't transition well on cinema or even TV, but on the other term, because we've said this before, a lot of people don't like that we say this, is that the movies and TV shows are made with characters and stuff, characters we love, but they're made for everyone else.
Well, the other thing too is
because we're not even 1% of the movie going on.
Well, it's not even just that though, too. It's just like, like if you want to look at like you take Hawkeye for example, right? Hawkeye with the fucking thing on his head, and he's got like if he had come on with a mask with a goddamn H on it and everything like that, people would have laughed at it. You know why? Because that was made up in 1962 or whatever. That it's from the 60s. It's 2000. What did that movie come out in 2012? Is like, you're not gonna sit there and wear it. I have my spandex and everything, and I'm ready. Like, wait, we're not gonna do that shit. We're gonna go ahead and put him in the. Did the Christopher Reeve's costume work? Yes, because that's the only thing he's ever had. Like Superman, that doesn't change his costume that much. That's easy to do. But I mean, if you had sat there
until they got tired of being the underwear on the outside side, so it's like they did change it up a little bit, but we're talking about Christopher Reeves. Like, how old is that movie now? Like 40 years old?
Oh no, it's just like one of
no,
things where
I'm saying it's hard to reference. What I'm trying to say is that it's hard to reference something that's older than me, if that makes any sense. I don't know if it is, but I'm trying to remember when that movie. It came out in the 70s, right?
Yeah, 78, I think it was.
Yeah, so like it's hard to think in 2023 terms of a movie that's actually older than me. For my thought process, but
Well,
I know what he's trying to say, but it's like
yeah,
they're gonna
I
do stuff that
understand. Like,
transitions. They're gonna do
I'll
stuff that
give you a great
transitions. Yeah.
I'll give you a great example of a character like you know like nobody wants to see Wolverine in the brown and yellow costume more than I do, because like that's I mean when I was little, when I was I mean literally when I was little, I want to say, you know, and knew anything about comics, that's the first Wolverine costume that I ever saw, so that's the Wolverine I know. And you know, when it's one of those things where it's like, oh, like they're gonna dress him up and he's you know, I mean, the original X-Men movies, like the first costume he had was just all black, and then you know it was basically a T-shirt and jeans for like the longest time and everything. It's just like, you know, it does get kind of annoying when you're like, oh, he doesn't look like the same, and this doesn't look, you know. But then again, too, when they said they were making a Batman movie, I didn't expect Michael Keaton to be in an all black suit. I expected him to have, you know, the blue cowl and the gray shirt with the yellow emblem, and you know, I expected him to look like that, and all of a sudden it was all black. I was like, this is different. This is kind of cool the way it looks, because that's what I, you know, that it looked different. And then the
the Joker looked like he ate a healthy meal, because I'm used to the skinnier, thinner Joker.
Yeah,
not a Joker look like he's eating a pot of gumbo. If anybody know that Louisiana reference, like he's eating a pot of gumbo every day before he came Joker, because he was a very healthy Joker. He was a very healthy Joker.
Yeah, and I mean, so you know, where the costumes. I mean, sometimes you get rewarded, and they'll do a costume that like is really accurate and really good, and then other times that costumes they're gonna take liberties with, and that's the way it is. Like, I mean, you look at Iron Man. His costumes weren't exactly the same. Like, you know, they didn't have like that you know, like the 70s and 80s costume with the you know, round you know, blue and with the round ring, what was gold and red and everything like that. It was like, you know, he had that blue ring forever, that blue, and it turned to a triangle and everything else. So it's just like they take those liberties. The only one that I would say that was accurate, I mean, really fully accurate to in the Avengers, was Black Widow. And Black Widow's costume, she straight out said, is like, this is not easy to move and work in. Like this is not fun to be in. And you know, she wasn't really a big fan of being in that. But you know, and then when they did the what was it? When they did the WandaVision, and they put you know, Scarlet Witch in her original costume with the stupid fin head thing and everything. It's just like that wouldn't have translated well either. So I mean, you know, there's certain things that they modernize to make it look kind of cooler, to make it more palatable for the audience. And in some cases it works. In some cases it's stupid. Some cases they take way too many liberties with some of the costumes, like Taskmaster did not look like Taskmaster. It looked stupid. I mean, you know, there was nothing wrong with his original mask being the skull and everything like that, but they you know, went ahead and made him look like a Viper from G.I. Joe. You know, there's a lot of different things that you know, we all want to see. Like, you know, I think to an extent it would be cool. Like I'm you know, we never got the whole what was it, with Cyclops with the you know, like the pad and then you know, the whole like setup embrace that he has and everything like that. They didn't get like the Jim Lee look. And then, you know, I think it would be awesome to have like the original look with when he has like the hood on and it's just like, you know, that whole like, you know, thing like that. Like that would be kind of cool.
Like the X
no.
helmet.
So you know how he basically has like so you don't see his hair at all. It's just like that he's got like that blue circle around him, and he has the glasses, and then you know his face. You know, like that would be kind of cool to see, like the original costume, because he's basically, you know, the original X-Men costume that they used to have. You know, we've never seen Jean Grey in the actual like green like Phoenix stuff, or even the red like actual Phoenix costume. That would be sick to see her in that. But you know, that does. I mean, was it Mystique? Her costume was pretty cool, and we never saw that. She was just a blue, basically pseudo naked woman.
She was pseudo. She was.
So, and nobody complained about that. No one's like, oh, you know, where's her costume? It's just like, no, let her be what she is. She's good.
She's okay. It's a lot to see. Shout out to that costume. Oh man, but what I was gonna say. Oh, but yeah, I appreciate all the comics you hear. Like it gave us a lot to talk about too. We
Yeah,
said we saw
I'm with
Wanda.
you. I would love to see more
Oh
comic
yeah,
action.
we did. That was actually a funny episode when you got to saw you saw the original costume for Wanda and Vision, and
Yeah,
that didn't look so well.
no, but you know what it
That's
looked
why they
like,
played it. That's
honestly.
why they played it. That's why they played it into a Halloween episode.
Yeah. Well, the funny. So I'm gonna tell you right now, the funniest part about when she came down the stairs and she's like, "All right, who's ready for Halloween?" I'm like, "Oh God!" I was like, "You know what? I'm glad this is going in this context because I could absolutely see it. Like if they weren't in the living room, if they were in the room, she's like, "You want to see my costume?" I'm like, this is how porn start. Like, what the hell? Like this is not no, because it was funny seeing it. I was
This
like,
is
wow,
what is it? Vision. It would be like Vision and the Wanda. That's what it'd be. It'd be like that'd be like I think I downloaded the wrong show.
yeah. I was just like, oh wow, but it was funny to see that. And then what was it? And then yeah, the Quicksilver had he had this the lightning bolt in the old shirt and everything like that, and his hair was all weird. It's like yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just like you look at those, it's just like
Well, they got one costume that
designs.
from the comics. It was on a Thor book. Magneto had the all purple. It's like his whole
Yeah,
body was purple from head to toe.
yeah, and
he
it's
looked
just
like he looked like a grape,
oh yeah, of course, and
a
that's the thing,
raisin.
So some of those designs, as much as people love them and they're iconic and everything like that, it's just like you got to remember they were made in they were made over 50 years ago.
It was
And
made in a
even
time
50,
that like
60
it
years
was
ago.
a lot easier, like so, so they. I'm just I just want them to have a good script at the end of the day, good writing and a good performance. Because at the end of the day, that's what really matters. If we get the good performance, good script, and good writing and all that stuff, it work out well. So I don't
I
want
mean, Hercules, the end of Thor, uh, it like the headgear is the worst part, but just because he it looks like a bad it looks like somebody who it looks like a wrestler. Basically, it's like a wrestler's thing, and he's gonna take it off, and he's actually gonna fight after. But it's like it's funny looking. It's not terrible, you know, but it could be better. I mean, but I mean, in the end of it, I'm sure that that's like when you look at the first version of Thanos they put on the screen, they changed him to make him look a little bit different too. It was like, all right, well,
he got changed like three times, like with the
yeah.
technology and stuff like that. He got changed three. One time he was super purple on one of the like the
Is it
credit
comic
scenes.
accurate? I would say it's very it's very close to what you would expect from the comics. I think it is. I don't think it's too out there, but I think it's kind of accurate.
And it's gonna change if he if he really makes a more of appearance. I think we might get more of him if we get the Thor movie that what's his name wants. I want to say Chris Evans, but it's not Chris Evans. Because he wants to come back. Yeah, Hemsworth. He wants to come back and do like one more Thor,
Yeah.
And he's not going to be doing as many movies. So actually, he wants to do one more solo Thor, and he's probably gonna end it off with Secret Wars or whatever. So he's probably gonna be done after like his one last Thor movies, and I don't know if he's gonna be in Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. That's probably his last three because of the when he found out about his condition that he has like some kind of he has a high probability because you still don't know everything's has to happen. We don't, but he has a high probability that he's gonna I think have Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Because he did like a brain study and I think the DNA and all that stuff, and he had that gene that is say so he took a step back from acting and stuff like that, but so he probably won't do as much as he used. Because he said he's going to pull back on a lot of stuff, spend more time with his family and kids and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
I think
we gotta appreciate him as Thor, because I don't think I can't see another Thor happening, because he worked out perfectly.
yeah,
I mean,
he had the
you know,
look and everything, and it's just like
had the
it's
look, and he
very
ended up
odd.
getting the body type. You know, do you still get a PG? What? Do you still get that PGX? I never used PGX.
I think you're thinking of Wheel of Promise.
I don't know. I don't never use PGX. Listen, Hercules plus Black Knight would be perfect. Well, actually, I would have loved to see Black Knight and Blade actually do something, since they actually meet at the end of a freaking movie, and they look like and Blade comment was like he knew who he really was. Dang, he's like, he knew who he really was. So I would love to, Mr. Whitman.
Yeah,
so I would love to see that.
I think one of the crazy things. Oh, buy those cheap and recycle CG. I mean, whenever you can, absolutely.
You always buy anything cheap and try to either slab or reslab. If it's stuff I'm gonna sell to go a little sideways before, stuff I want to sell, I do use CGC. If it's stuff I'm keeping in the PC, everything eventually has to sell or it has to transfer hands, because you can't live forever. But if it's stuff that I want to keep a longer term, I don't mind using CBCS. I don't mind keeping it raw for a while before I get it graded. I got tons of books here that I have raw because I'm like, I don't need to get it graded at the point.
Yeah. I think also with Thor and how he wants to make the movie that he wants to make, I think another thing that happened was Taika Waititi did such a good job with Ragnarok that he was given the keys with no problems to do the Love and Thunder, and I mean I don't have quite as bad of an opinion as other people do of it, but because I understand more, like at least from what I got of it, I understood what that was all about, and what the movie was there for, was to give Thor a purpose of wanting to be a hero again. And I think a lot of people either don't quite get that or just get mad that like it didn't go the exact way they wanted it to. But I can also agree though that there was a lot of things in that just was like it just was a situation where it's like you could tell that he was trying to go like he pushed things to one level and would try to push it even further because he thought that he would, that he could do no wrong, and that people would, think it was funny, or the jokes and everything were funny because he thought it was funny. And it's just like, that's not really gonna. Sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, everybody laughs. A lot of people. I'll say this much: when you're laughing hardest at your own jokes, it's not a good thing. Doesn't mean they go on stage and start a comedy career. It's like you need the people around you to be laughing. But if you're laughing harder than them at your own jokes, it's like it's not good.
I think, like you said, when the first one, when he's like, "Ooh, they like that funny stuff." Oh, I got some funny stuff for you. You're like, hold on, bro. We liked it a little bit. We didn't like full out comedy with Thor. We liked it.
And I think that Disney themselves were like, okay, well, we'll see how this works. And then when it didn't go the way they wanted it to, I think that they were actually really surprised that I was like, wow, they really don't like this. And I think Taika's response to that was like, well, they don't know what they're talking about. Like that shit was funny. And it's just like, apparently a lot of people don't like that. Like they didn't like what, and like, oh, well, whatever. The next movie I'm going to make is going to go even further. It's like, well, you're not going to make any more movies.
Yeah, because they took, and then it was then the other movie was almost like a buddy cop too. Like a lot of people don't realize it was him and Hulk, and then Valkyrie, and then the Valkyrie we got in that movie, it was a totally different Valkyrie in the other movie because she sobered up. She wasn't going against Thor, and she was like all about Asgard. And you're like, we want you to be about Asgard, but still be a drunk if you can.
I'm not worried about that. It's just like
I'm just saying that was kind of her. I like that more of her character. You know what I mean?
Like, well, I'll say like this, like so, because you can. I'll say this. I know the Russo brothers directed, the whole, Endgame and everything like that. But the Thor scenes, like the scene where he was with the scene with Rocket where he has to go back and get the reality stone and everything from Jane, like that was Taika Waititi. A lot of that because it's like those crying and all the rest of this type of stuff. And then you had the scene where he's on the what's it called? He's playing the video game. It's like he's back, he's being mean. He's like new master, and he's actually threatening the kid. That's also Taika, which that was funny and everything, but it's just like you could tell when he gets his hands on it, and it's just like I think he just didn't quite understand that. Like it's just like in small bursts is not that bad, but when you're going so far over the top that it doesn't make any sense anymore. Like, and people were excited for the movie though too. That was the thing. Like people were excited, they wanted to see it, and then it was a big slap in the face, and that's what pissed people off. You can't do that type of stuff.
Yeah, it's like Callie said. We don't mind funny, or we like funny. We don't want silly.
The whole phase wasn't disappointing. People got to get over that shit. The whole phase was not disappointing. Certain things, yes, but the other thing too is that people's expectations were way the fuck up here, and it's just like and I'm sorry, like everybody who the first few movies like it's not Endgame, then like I got sick of hearing that.
They did have a lot of videos of people saying it's not Endgame on YouTube.
Yeah, it was stupid. I was I cannot stand hearing that over and over again because it's like what
they did have a lot of those videos.
It's just to the point where it's just like what they have to understand that you're not going to always hit a home run. That's just the way it is. And not saying that like if it's clearly just bad, that's one thing. But it was like and there were promising products and there were things that sounded like they should have been better than they were. Did they make mistakes? Absolutely. Were there movies movies and shows that didn't quite live up? Yeah, 100%. But to sit there and be like, well, it's not because, and it just became, what was funny? It was like people became real snobbish almost, where it's like, this is the peak, and I expect all my movies to be this. Well, guess what? That's like being like, all my books have to be 9.8. If they're not 9.8, fuck them. Well, then you're not going to have a lot of comics because not everything's going to be a 9.8. And, so you mean to tell me that you wouldn't take an Amazing Fantasy 15 at a 7.0? Oh, no, that can't be in my collection. It has to be a 9.8. Well, then guess what? Unless you're rich, you ain't getting one. Even if you are rich, you ain't getting one at a 7.5 or whatever the hell I said it was. It's just like you kind of have to take the good with the bad, and you have to understand that not everything that wasn't Endgame wasn't bad, and that's what I think a lot of that's what my frustration comes with that. It was just like just because it wasn't as good as Endgame doesn't mean it's all bad. Like some things, yes, they were bad. Some things were pretty good still.
I don't think Endgame, not Endgame. I don't think Ant-Man 3 was as bad as some people say.
Ant-Man 3.
I actually enjoyed Ant-Man 3. I don't know
did
why.
Too. Everybody was, what everyone got mad at. Honestly, the one thing that I think people pick out is MODOK. People did not like MODOK. Okay, fine. MODOK was not a huge moment in that. Like he wasn't huge in that movie. Like what I mean. But everybody would like. It was people wanted to nitpick and find something not to like, and that's what they latched onto. Is that this movie sucked? It didn't suck. It's just people,
The only thing I didn't like about MODOK is he I wish he would have kept his helmet on more often than not. That's the only thing I didn't like. It's not that I didn't. I mean, he is supposed to be a giant head. I didn't
exactly
that part. I didn't mind that part, but I mind the part when he kept doing it. And I'm like, you're supposed to be fighting. Why would you take your helmet off? You're fighting. Leave it on. Like I can see you taking it off at the end when you've got remorse and you're feeling bad. But when you're fighting, why do you need to take it off? Hey, where? Blah blah blah. And you're like, no, keep it on. You're supposed to be, you're the killing machine. Stop. So that's why I did. Well, they explained that in the movie really quickly. I mean, basically, he got shrunk down to where Kang was at. The quantum realm where Kang was at, and Kang rebuilt him. It was a real quick thing and made him MODOK. That's why he was Yellow Jacket. That's why Yellow Jacket became MODOK.
But the thing, the thing that I look at, like, that movie wasn't bad. Doctor Strange wasn't bad either, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, Doctor Strange is terrible." Like, no, Doctor Strange wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. What was it as spectacular as people wanted it to be? No, but it wasn't that bad. what's it called? No Way Home wasn't that bad either. And people are like, oh, wasn't that good. I mean, No Way Home. Like, No Way Home was actually not that bad. Now, did it end the way people wanted it to? No. And I know that. I know a lot of people didn't want it to end the way it did.
It didn't end the way people wanted to, and a certain Spider-Man didn't make an appearance like everybody wanted.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted Miles to make an appearance. Everybody did.
Yeah, of course, because I mean, the books would have just jumped out of their hands. At that
well, even if you didn't have the book, you enjoy the character. I mean, I don't have the regular cover of Miles, but I like Miles. So yeah, I would have jumped for joy if I'd seen it just showed up.
But the thing is, like they're still getting mileage out of Peter Parker, and it's just like Peter Parker is not yet ready to give over anything to Miles Morales. It's not time. It's just not time. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, like, but when's he coming? You just got Peter Parker not that long ago. Like you have to give him a time to actually grow up. Like he just got through. I mean, I don't even think has he even gotten through college yet. No, he just got done with fucking high school. Like, let him become.
He just got accepted. I don't even know if he got accepted because he's like basically starting over. So I don't even think he's in college yet.
Yeah,
he's gonna start. He's still gonna work and probably end up trying to get to college, but he's basically starting over. So yeah, we're getting I guess more.
That's the other thing too. People want is the other thing that people that people get mad at too is, and I'm gonna go off like Jay said, so because you can sit there and hear like what was the number one most rumored character to be going into every fucking project? Mephisto, and people got so mad when Mephisto never showed up. It's like, dude, because at one point it became, oh, I think he's coming. Like they're gonna use Mephisto. This is gonna be crazy, and then they didn't do it, and then people kept on going over and over and over again, and it's just like, and honestly, I think it became a joke, and I think that people just kept like, if you're Marvel, or and like, oh, we have cameos, and like, oh no, keep letting them think Mephisto's coming, keep letting them think that, because this way we're hiding the other stuff, and then people are gonna get excited to see this character come in, and this one that they had no idea was coming is gonna show up. So yeah, we'll keep doing that. So it's just like, just like, I mean, at this point, you have to realize that sometimes speculation is just like Bigfoot sightings. Oh, Bigfoot's over there, or Elvis is still alive, and so is Tupac, and he's just chilling in Cuba now, but he's down there. No, he's not. He's dead as a fucking doornail. They shot him a bunch of times. He's dead as fuck. Tupac is not coming back. Neither is Elvis. Neither is Jimi Hendrix or anybody else. They're all gone. So Mephisto,
man, stop it, man. Tupac is alive.
All the rumors about Tupac,
he dropped CDs and mixtapes like it ain't nothing.
Yeah, no, it's trust me, it's the same thing. Bruce Lee isn't just hiding out somewhere. No, he's dead. It's just one of those things where but people will keep that story going. Why? Because they want to see these things happen. So we're gonna get Mephisto, and by the time we do, what's gonna happen? Everyone's like, well, that was bullshit. We had all this time for this. Just be happy you get the stuff when you get it.
Yeah, in the rumor how we were gonna get the presentation of Mephisto, I didn't mind, because if people don't know the thing about Mephisto and how that's gonna play out, Mephisto, if they want Mephisto to be a big bad. If they want Mephisto to be a big bag in a movie, they know it won't get played in China. So I think this is what I think. And the show is shot. I would rather this show before an Echo show. That's just I'm kind of biased, but on Ironheart. Ironheart show is actually done, shot. He's supposed to get Mephisto in the show, not as the main villain, but he's supposed to be like the puppet master behind the Hood, because the Hood was going to use the magical stuff, and she was going to have the technology. So he was going to be the puppet master. I thought that would have been a good introduction, because then you could see how it plays out. We could see how, and some people like Sacha Baron Cohen. I think the guy, if I'm not mistaken, he won an Academy Award. So he's not. He does all these characters.
He's a good actor
for a reason. He's a good actor for a reason. And I think they were going to see how it played out, and then they were going to figure out what movie that they're probably going to put him in that could survive not being released in China, because a lot of people like Bleak would say this, but at the end of the day, this is every movie, not just Disney. They want this. They want money, and China plays a big role in a lot of stuff. Axe Black Adam and The Rock, because his movie didn't get released in China. That's the only reason why he didn't make another extra $200 million to $300 million, because China loves The Rock. So I just had to add that in there. Like we can care about it and don't want the rights and all that stuff, but that plays a part on what we like and what things we think are good. Like a lot of people say the Black Adam was good, like which I like to have Black Adam, and it was very good in my opinion. And we couldn't get more of it because of that not being released in China.
Well,
so
the other thing that I'll say too is that where people are going to go ahead.
No, I'll answer that quick. No.
so where people will be like, oh, Sacha, like when they sit there and make the face, make Sacha Baron Cohen for this one. You know what's funny is a lot of people, when it comes to people who do like comedic stuff, a lot of people sit there and make this guy. You know who one of the actual best, I would say one of the best actual actors that was 100% a comedian came in as a comedian? Robin Williams. Robin Williams had the range to be just about anything. He's an amazing, he was an amazing actor and comedian. You know who else has an incredible range and really can do a lot and he doesn't get enough serious roles? Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy is a very good actor. He's funny as shit, but he's a very good actor. And he can play serious roles, but he just doesn't really get a lot of them because I think a lot of people just don't take him serious, and they should because he's good.
This comment has had me tickled because I have no idea what it's reference to. I guess it's reference to China. I guess China, because he's like talking smack to China. I don't know, but it's just funny.
Which goes? The cowboy movie.
Well, he's saying something got canceled, but I don't think
it would have to be the cowboy movie.
Because he said the Dalai Lama, like some kind of Dalai Lama. I didn't hear nothing about that, but the cowboy movie,
Dalai Lama. I don't know.
The cowboy movie. Speaking of Scorsese,
yeah, it's not doing good.
So it's doing terrible. It's only made like $80-something million, and the movie costs over $200 million to make. That's not market. That's not market. So
nope.
Scorsese could talk all that smack. The movie actually looks. The movie actually look. I actually want to see the movie, but because it's based on a true story. But the runtime of this movie is well over 3 hours, Chris.
Yeah, it's like 3.5 hours long.
It's well over 3 hours, and when you include the
love
trailers,
long movies.
That's 4 hours. That's basically 4 hours to see. I love long movies, but I can't do it anymore at a theater.
I love long movies. I have no problem. Like, honestly, if you wanted to make a 5-hour movie, I'd probably watch it and have no problem with that. I just look at it where it's just like, I know I am weird like that, so or at least I seem to be the weird one, because if the movie was 4 hours long, I would have no problem with that. But I would also acknowledge this movie's goddamn 4 hours long. This is a long movie. As long as it's engaging and good, great. The problem is though, to fill. Once you get past, I would say 2.5 hours, you're really, really, gonna have to bring your A game to keep people entertained. And so if you're gonna go 3.5 hours, now you're to the point where you have to have a whole nother hour in there of stuff that's gonna keep people entertained, and it's just, I don't think it's possible. And to be honest, and what I was doing before, I was looking at the signals. This is Martin Scorsese. He's like being told, throw the curve. No. Throw the slider? Can I throw my fastball? It's like, everybody knows you lost your fastball a long time ago. The Departed was a long time ago, pal.
Not just that, and then people forget. Like, a lot of people don't think about the cuts of the movie. So if the cut that's in the theaters is 3.5 hours, could you imagine how long the original cut was?
Oh yeah,
the original cut that Martin Scorsese probably had was probably 5 hours.
Yeah,
and he had to cut it down to 3.5. That's just like Oppenheimer. I bet you again, because I know because Oppenheimer I haven't watched it yet because I've been waiting to watch it on TV. But I know we know for a fact with the director who did Oppenheimer,
Christopher Nolan.
We know that movie's 4 hours. The original cut's 4 hours. We know. Absolutely. Just because we know from his Batman stuff. Yeah. So, but
but you have to.
He had to cut it down and take out scenes, probably take out actors and actresses scenes.
And the thing that I'll say is like this, like there are people that can do them, and Martin Scorsese used to be able to do those kind of movies, and really make them compelling and make them good. But the thing is that like, you know, it's all tough. Like Quentin Tarantino, I love Quentin Tarantino movies, but you know, and I remember seeing Grindhouse, and Grindhouse was a very long movie, and it was good, but then there's a scene.
But then they make it like almost like they had a what do you call it, intermission? Didn't they make it like they had intermission?
So they did that after a little while. Like if you saw it the opening weekend, there was no intermission. You just sat there for like, you know, however it was, like 3.5 or 4 hours watching everything. And one of the things that drove me insane in the what's it called, Death Proof, that's the stunt car movie one, was they like there's literally, it has to be at least like a 30-minute scene of them just sitting at what's it called? They're sitting at a table just talking, and it's just they're just talking about just random shit for 30 minutes. I'm like, dude, this is fucking stupid. Like, this is just being done to fill time. And the thing was that was funny about it was that like, well, it's a Grindhouse movie. It's supposed to kind of be like, you know, not specifically great, but it's supposed to have this in it. And it's just like, yes, but this is just like too much. And sometimes there's a lot of that where it's like this is too much. Like, you know, The Irishman, I liked. I thought it was good. As far as, you know, the story, and I was interested in seeing everything that was going on, but there were definitely scenes that were like, you know, you didn't have to have. There was definitely scenes that they could have cut out of that. But overall, it was a long. I mean, and I knew this is a long movie, and it's just like, you know, you can't just sit down and, you know, watch that in one take. Like, it takes a while. Same thing. You know, it's another one is not as long, but it seems long like that. Is The Godfather. The Godfather is, you know, it's one of those things where if you're gonna watch The Godfather, I think that movie is 3 hours, and you know, it moves at a very slow pace, and it picks up at certain points, but then it slows way down again, and it's hard to do that. But Quentin Tarantino, you know, with that movie, he slowed it so down that I was like, this is very boring. This is really tough to get to, and it, you know, for me, it made the movie kind of annoying. So I was like, I didn't like Death Proof. Planet Terror was great. You know, The Hateful Eight is another really long movie. I mean, so much so that they turned it into an actual series, you know, where it's like you can watch the movie in an episodic fashion, where every part of the movie is broken into an episode, or you can watch it all at once. And it's a good movie. It's a long movie, and he's got that knack of doing that. Certain directors can do that, and really that's why when you watch a Tarantino movie, he does it in that way, where a lot of things, they're not straight through the whole way. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I'll sit there and just be like, all right, you know, he'll black it out and go, all right, this is coming up, and black it out and all right, this is this chapter, and this chapter is called this, and this chapter is called that. So that part of things, like, that's his style of doing it. Something like Christopher Nolan, like, he just tells you a whole real long, big movie, and you know, I mean, to his credit, he can fill it with enough action and with enough, you know, entertainment that you don't really get bored of it. It's not too bad. I'll say this much: The Dark Knight Rises, there's a couple of times where it got a little bit to the point where I was like, all right, wish this would move a little quicker. But you know, something like The Dark Knight, though, there was never a point in that movie where I was kind of like, oh, you know, this is kind of dragging. Like, I was like, wow, this is great. So I mean, some people can do it. Goodfellas, I can sit there and watch the whole. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. I can watch it from start to finish, no problem. Casino, love that one too. So, Departed, love that. It's a great movie, and I can watch that the whole way through. But that's when I said that. That's when he had his fastball. That's when he was, you know, out there working the mound and striking people out and just putting out great stuff. It's like, you know, once you lose that fastball, though, it gets tough to negotiate 3.5 hour movies or whatever. So I think what's going to happen with him, if he decides to continue making movies, is that he's probably going to be told, like, listen, like, we love you, Marty. You're one of the greats, but you got to shorten them up. You can't have 3 hour movies anymore. Like, the max we're giving you is 2.5 hours. That's it. You got to tell us.
And you gotta go under budget, because I don't. It's
oh yeah, he was 200 million.
200 million for this movie that you like in this era of time. Yeah, so it's that's gonna be tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it really is kind of like out of control. Like how he actually. I want to see one more thing, because I'm trying to make sure that, like, I might be misspeaking by saying Departed was his last good movie, because if he did The Wolf of Wall Street, then I'll give him that. I'll give him The Wolf of Wall Street.
Did he do The Wolf?
Okay, yeah, I think he did. I think he directed it. So I'm almost positive. Yeah, Scorsese directed The Wolf of Wall Street. So good for him. So I take it back. He lost his fastball and Wolf of Wall Street. Now, can he get it back? Of course. But the problem is, though, is it's just one of those things that, you know, I think he's starting to get to the point where he's got it. I mean, he may have gotten to where they want him to prove that he can, you know, is worthy of making the money back to the studio.
Wolf of Wall Street was a while ago too.
Yeah, it's 2013. I mean, it is a while
10
ago.
years ago.
10 years ago.
10 years ago. Oh my god.
Yeah, he was part of the Joker movie, but the thing is, you know, he like the what I'll say about the Joker movie is this, like because
was he a producer? Was he a producer in it, or was he?
He was involved in it, and it's, you know, that's fine. The problem that you have, though, is that when you have a movie like that, it's not really a comic book movie per se. It's you know, more his take on it. Like it would be a comic book version of like The Taxi Driver, almost, is what it seems like. And, you know, the thing that happens with, you know, that type of, you know, movie, like if he was to just sit there and make his own, you know, comic book movie with the character, it would have to be something where it is a crime person, you know, where it's somebody who's a criminal, and it's within, like, you know, the you know, underground type thing, like, you know, a mafia or some type of crime family type thing. I don't think he could do a movie about like I'm sure he could do a great movie about the Kingpin, because that's all he's ever made is movies about, like, you know, gangsters and criminals and underworld bosses. But like, if you said make me a movie about Sabretooth, I bet you he'd put out something fucking horrible, because he doesn't understand that character. Like, he doesn't know how to make something like that. And that's just not his wheelhouse. But if you give him something like, you know, something that he can sink his teeth into, where it's like, yeah, like I want you to do Harvey Dent turning into Two-Face, I can do that. I understand that character. I understand the type of people he deals with.
Shout out to some people, you know, coming in. Appreciate you guys stopping through. So before we get to, because I'm getting hungry and tired. I apologize.
Yep.
We're not going to go into spoilers, but we can go into past spoilers. So, you know, but I don't want. I don't know how to do it, but we're gonna talk a little Loki season 2.
Yeah.
The new episode.
We can't spoil the new episode because it hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, it hadn't come out. It comes out tomorrow. But
yeah,
I'll just talk about how much I'm enjoying it at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm really digging every show. I'm highly anticipating to watch every show, if that makes any sense. Like, I really,
me too.
Really looking forward to. Like, I'm looking forward to Thursday to watch the show.
Yep.
So we got like 2 episodes left, and the shows actually have been around with like 50 minutes. They have been.
Is it 5 total episodes, or is it 6?
I thought it was 6.
Yeah. So we have this. So this week is 4, and then there's 2 more weeks after this one, which is kind of
cool. So, and the episode's been like 50 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, right? So
yeah, something like that. They've been pretty. Yeah, they've been about an hour apiece.
We haven't had any 30-minute episodes because you can feel those. So I think the last one was a little bit over 50 minutes. So like the show runtime, I think, was like over 45 minutes, which was good. Yeah, I like those. You know, especially when I'm kind of into the show. I'm happy. I can't remember his real name, but Short Round. I love his character a lot. I hope he sticks around. And you know, it looked like we're hearing rumors about the TVA being involved in other movies coming up. He should be around, so we'll see.
I could see that. Yeah.
Because he steals a lot of scenes, man. It's like his character, his action, and all that stuff. So I'm digging it. So like, hopefully, he's not killed off on the show. That would kind of you disappoint me. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the show. Like I said, can't wait for can't wait for the next episode. I was highly surprised by the deaths of the last episode, and
Yeah.
I said yes because you didn't see them all. Well, yeah, you only saw one of them, but I was surprised of the two shocking scenes.
Yeah.
The implied of death of a group of people, and then the visual death of another person.
Yeah.
I was very shocked. I was very
I'm
shocked.
I'm gonna answer Bleeker very quickly. I'll tell you right now. First of all, there would be no story that he would. Like, if you gave him Sabretooth, he'd be like, "That's not worth telling." That's number one. But number two, let's say they did give him something like, you know what, Mighty, we'll give you $1 billion. We will give you personally $1 billion to put in your pocket to make a movie about Sabretooth. He would do it, and it would be fucking awful. You wait, because it's not his story. Like, he doesn't know how to do those type of stuff. That's why a lot of people. That's why certain people don't go outside of other realms. Like you're not gonna get somebody who directs what's it called? Wes Craven isn't gonna make a teenage dating movie. Like, he just can't do that unless someone's getting like stabbed to death. Like, that's the only way you're gonna get it. Like he's horror. He's horror through and through. He's not gonna make a family comedy. He's not gonna make a drama about a court drama that's not about somebody getting slashed to pieces. Like, that's what he does. So in terms of that, Scorsese is an amazing director, but this like superhero movies are way outside of his depth. He can't do them. It's just not the way it is. Did he do that Bear movie with Leonardo DiCaprio? I think he did. I don't remember. I've never seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
The Remnant, or whatever it's called,
something like that. Yeah. I think so.
I don't know. That's the one I didn't watch.
And this is what I'll say too. As much as I'm saying this stuff, the one thing I would say about Martin Scorsese, he's got nothing to prove to anybody. Like, he's won all kinds of Oscars, so like he proved his point. Like, it's just that he's doing it now, and he's catching all the flack because he's talking shit about what's popular because he doesn't. It is not his wheelhouse. But it's just like, that man has nothing to prove to anybody. Like, he's really, just one of the top directors of all time. Like he's right up there. He's won all the awards. The man is literally, he's a legend, and you can never take that away from him, no matter what opinions he has on the most recent type of movies. Like he is royalty, and he's what everybody who's making movies in some way, shape, or form, he's their inspiration. So it's just like, even though his opinions, might be shitting on some of the people that are, making these movies now, like the Russo brothers. I'm sure the Russo brothers studied his work, loved what he did, and really was like, you know what, if I can make anything even close, if I can make something that's as popular as what he's done, I'll be happy. So I mean, that's the way I look at it. It's like, Scorsese is one of the, he's in the Hall of Fame, and he always will be, just because he's that good. But on to Loki, I'll say this much about this. The show has been really good, and what I find myself doing a lot of times is even in the credits, I start looking to see what they put in there, like what stuff that they are throwing in the credit scenes. Because if you look, they have like pictures of different parts of the show. And I'm wondering if they're doing that on purpose. Like, so you just sat there and watched this, but you know what? You missed this thing. You didn't see this, or this had a bigger meaning than what you thought it did. So it's really, I think, what makes Loki such a strong show is that there's so much that you can go back and look at and try to figure out, and it always kind of makes you like.
Oh, and they got so many Easter eggs. They got tons of Easter eggs.
Well, there's that, but then you have. I think a lot of times you think you have a handle on what's going on, but like, at any point it can get thrown in a different direction. Like one thing I've seen. So right now I can tell you like 5 or 6 different things that people have been theorizing about. So it's just like, when you went back, even in season 1, people were just like, Miss Minutes is not a good person. Miss Minutes is a bad guy in some way, shape, or form. She, and people like, who is she really? What is she really doing? Like, what's the truth behind, Miss Minutes and this and that? And then like, and this show, in this last episode, you kind of see that she is she's kind of sinister. She really is. Like, you know, when they have that scene, that's like it's probably like the you know it's one of the biggest scenes in the show. Like her reaction tells you a lot. It's like what like when you know something awful's happening and she's clearly enjoying it, like really enjoying it. Like she has a huge smile on her face when it's
Yeah,
happening. Like, oh my god!
and,
So
and
it makes you wonder.
it makes you wonder. That's what I was about to say.
And then people have already been speculating for a long time. Like she's the true evil. Like she's the real big bad in the show. Maybe, maybe not. You have no idea. You know, was you know, is this all happening part of the true Kang's plan? We don't know. You know, what is Ouroboros's role and everything? Like people are like, oh, Ouroboros, but people are already theorizing. No,
Right.
he's the real bad guy. Like he's the real big bad. You'll see. It's like I don't know.
It's almost like it's like the chicken and the egg in this show as well. A lot of that stuff too, because like it's like Ouroboros and Victor Time, like who the chicken and the egg.
Yeah.
And then like you said, Miss Minutes and actually He Who Remains. You're like, hold up, was He Who Remains was he sinister or did Miss Minutes make him sinister?
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? So it's like because like you said, you see her you see her sinister and rubbing off on Ravonna Renslayer, and you're like, hold on, Ravonna's not like that. This Menace is like that, and it's like rubbing off on her.
Yeah.
And Ravonna thinks she's doing it to save the TVA, but Miss Menace has other plans dealing with bringing Kang.
Yeah.
So
and she, and the thing is that like you can tell like Miss Minutes is very manipulative, and you can tell she's working on working on everybody. That's the thing that's crazy, that she's literally like everybody who's a main component of whatever plan is going on, she's working on them and basically trying to put them in the positions where they need to be. And so a lot of people are pawns in all this, and that's the hardest thing, is trying to figure out who is the actual real players in this and who's the pawns. So I mean, and the thing that happens really when you're watching the show is just that when you're seeing this, is just like Mobius. I would say Mobius, Loki, and I think I would say Sylvie. They're all reacting to everything. So there's a lot of people that are always reacting. Everybody who's not followed into it is always reacting to everything and trying to figure out what's going on. And so that I think is what makes that show so good and intriguing, because it's like, how do you really get a grip on and a handle on what's going on? So it's going to end up having to be revealed and shown to you, and then it's like, oh man, and then you're going to go back and like, so this was where this all connected. I completely missed that. Or oh, see, I knew it the whole time. It was this. Like, I had a feeling this was where it was going. So it's just really fun to be able to try to connect all the dots and see, I guess when you look on your Kang, or when you look on your scorecard of Kang, Loki, and all the rest of this type of stuff, like what stuff you got right and what stuff you didn't, because whether you were on the right path or whether you were like way out in left field, it's fun to have that. And I think that's what a lot of, I mean, this show is able to be built like that. Not every Disney show can be, but I think that it's something that I think a lot of other shows would take a lesson from, where it's like, all right, you have to really build a foundation for a story to go, so that you can expand and make it something like this. Not to say it has to be the same thing, but it should be as entertaining and intriguing as this, to keep people interested, and then say, okay, now people will want to keep seeing this. Because you could tell me that Loki's going for another 4 seasons, I'm in. I will watch every single one of them, just because I really want to know what the hell is going on, and then get to the bottom of all this. And I think that's where I think that partially something like Moon Knight it missed on that thing, because I think Moon Knight was trying to do the exact same thing, but they didn't quite have the foundation built in a good direction to get people to be like, okay, so this is all mystery, but I want to know what direction this is going. I want to know what's going to happen, because like Moon Knight, they missed that. People are just like, I just want to see Moon Knight. That's all I want to see. I don't care about anything other shit. Just give me Moon Knight. So.
I don't want a story. I want Moon Knight.
Yeah, well, but that was the thing. Was like, and really, I think.
And not saying the story was great. It's like people didn't want to see have a story. I actually kind of liked a little bit of the story, talking about the Egypt, the kings, and all that stuff. I like history, and I like history and like science. So
Yeah.
that actually was very interesting to me, and I wanted to know more actually about those
Yeah.
what were they called? They had all they were captured in those vases looking things. I wanted to know more about
Yeah.
all of them. You know what I mean? Because they had a whole
Yeah.
bunch of them.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing that I think the mistake that what they made, and honestly, Loki's show has Loki. Like you're not waiting for Loki to be there and show up, and that's where I think they had the problem. If there was more Moon Knight in it, then you could have had the story as long as you're having more of those Moon Knight moments. But they try to do it in the way of that, like, well, when he's Moon Knight, he doesn't really know what's going on, so like whatever personality just takes over. Like you're catching the flashback, and it's just like you know so it was hard to be able to figure out exactly where everything went and trying to piece it all together. So I think that they just kind of have to rework their approach a little bit. But if you can make it a tight story and something that's good like that, like I think that they could have something where people are as excited for Loki as they are as Moon Knight as they would be with Loki. So
Yeah, because the funny thing about Loki is, and you noticed you're watching it too with me.
mhm.
They don't have as many action scenes.
No, because it's a
Not
mystery
many,
right now.
not many at all. It's a lot of walking and
Yeah.
talking. It's a lot of
Yeah, well,
walking.
because that's the thing. Like Loki right now is a big mystery. They're trying to figure out, they're working against time to try to figure this thing out and trying to get things done. And the thing is, they don't know where to turn full out. I think the guy because first Loki was looking for Mobius for information, and Mobius doesn't really know what's going on. So then they end up stumbling upon OB, who has a little bit more knowledge, but his knowledge is kind of like it's almost like he has to keep unlocking it because they're not asking him the right questions. So it's like, so what's this all about?
He's not getting the knowledge until like a second later when he
Yeah,
goes back in
because he's
time
so
and talks to him.
preoccupied.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's why I say I think OB really works well in this, is just because he's so scatterbrained. Where it's just like it's like we need you to focus on this. Yeah, but I got this to work on. I can't just focus on it because he knows the bigger picture of everything, and so he's looking at everything as the big picture. And when something goes awry, he's like, oh, no, I gotta look at this. It's like no, look, the bomb's going off here. And he's like, yeah, but we're all gonna die right now. Because I don't know how many times. Every time every time they get past something, he's like, oh my god, we're all gonna die. He's like, we're all gonna, because now this is happening. We're all gonna, so it's like, it's funny watching him, kind of do what he does, and with them trying to get answers out of him because, he's definitely the person that has all the knowledge. It's just he's just so like his mind is kind of like the branches. Like his mind is going everywhere at once, and he's trying to figure out like how to like stop it all. And they're just like, look, we just need to concentrate on this one branch here. Can you just do that? And he's like, no, there's all this other stuff too. So that's they're really smart, and really I don't know if anybody else has kind of noticed that or put that together. Like the more crazy and out of whack everything is getting, the more his mind is just kind of going everywhere. So it's almost like he's kind of like the central battery of everything, where it's just like the more crazy things get, like the more erratic he is. So it's definitely well thought out, and the type of storytelling they have on that show is very tight. So what I would say is maybe you put, and I know it'd be tough to do to have that person, but maybe you have that person as maybe a liaison or some type of executive producer on the big shows that you want to make successful. Have that guy work on it, or have some of that crew and team work on it and oversee other stuff too, because they have it down, and there's room for improvement with a lot of other shows. And I think that having that strong team and foundation is probably what you need. Don't worry about getting all these new faces in all the time. Just like go ahead and get that core nucleus again. Just because as much as when Feige came along and he had all these people, and so they got that core together, and it was like, all right, cool. James Gunn and all these other people are here, and we got some brothers, and now we're good. This is what we have. There's been transition, so now build the core again.
Yeah,
these guys are solid. You want to keep these guys.
They were slowly building the core, but it's like it seems like they're going away from that again, because that's another reason why I really want to see Ironheart, because the producer is Ryan Coogler.
Mm-hmm.
he picked the directors. They got like one director did the first 3 episodes, and another director did the last 3 episodes. But he was working hand and
Yeah.
on every episode, basically like a director. But he took a step back as the producer, but he's there. So I really want to see his vision, and I wanted to see I think were going to do the World of Wakanda, a show basically focused on Adora Milaje. I was like, I'm game. I'm still game to see all this stuff. So hopefully Biden gets back focused and, like you said, get that core people back, because like he still has Ryan Coogler, but Coogler's not going to wait forever. If you're going to shelf projects that he's worked on, and you don't give him timetable, or you don't give him timetables for stuff, he's going to move on. He's a big name director. He's not going to be waiting for Marvel to pussyfoot, in other words, around with stuff. But I know he's one of the biggest names I think they have on the books right now for stuff. But so let's hopefully they figure out. But so far they figured out Loki. I really enjoy Loki. I don't know what's next on the agenda for. I think
I don't either.
I think it was Echo, but I have no interest in Echo. Like Bleeker said earlier, like that's a show it's not made for me, and I have no interest in. But I'll probably check out a few episodes. But actually, if they drop it like they said they're gonna drop it, I might end up watching the whole thing, because if they do it like they said they're gonna drop the whole season, then I'll watch it. But if they try to do it weekly, I'm not gonna make it through. If it's bad, it's not good after 2 episodes.
Yeah,
I'll give you a solid 2 episodes to catch my attention, and if I don't have any attention in it, I probably don't watch it. So,
well, you know what I think too when it comes to that is that this timing in this situation is probably the best case scenario for that, because if it was crap, nobody would want to watch it. But if it's the only thing that's there, it might benefit from that. And like, we watched it, we didn't like it, but there was nothing else. So yeah, I'll watch it. Okay. Watched it. Don't make a season 2 because we didn't like it. Or, you know what? It was pretty good. It was better than I didn't expect it to be this way. I thought it was pretty good. Make a season 2. You never know. But I think that really that's the benefit to the show like that. I just wonder if it's like, how much story is there really with Echo? I mean, I don't know the character all that well. So, I mean, is it something where you can have, 1, 2, 3 seasons? Is there enough material there for it? Or are they going to have to make up a lot of stuff? And then, because I don't see that being a big character. I don't see her being something that's really, expanded upon in the MCU. I see her being, okay, you gave her a show just because you wanted to try to go that route, but I don't really see that. I don't know. I mean, I don't think that's gonna be something that has a huge following. That's just my opinion on it. I'm not saying it's bad or good. I just think that it's not gonna be, it's not gonna be a big standout for them. And I think it's a bigger risk than reward. So we'll see. But if it's the only thing there, then like you said, people will at least check it out. If it ends up dropping all at once, then like you said, yeah, they'll watch the whole thing just because it's there. And then people will have opinions, and so if they're not favorable opinions, like because it's the only thing there, people are gonna make noise about it. So I guess you're picking your poison on that one, whereas it's like, oh, if it's good, great. But if people don't like it, they're gonna sound off, and they're really gonna make a big stink. And it's like, yeah, and there's nothing else, and this is the last thing we got, and it sucks.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. But as far as me and him are concerned, Loki, great, thumbs up. We'll talk more about Loki because we don't have a show.
Oh, look who showed up at the very end. He Who Remains.
Loki's
kind of
like,
also
He Who Remains.
Hey, we're gonna find out who Miss Minutes is.
Yeah,
so you can't
we might do an emergency show maybe next. Well, we could just wait till the normal time because then the Loki season be over with. But yeah, so definitely talk more about that in the future. But I do appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Make sure y'all still smash that thumbs up button, leave a comment. Thank you to everybody, even He Who Remains shows up late, but to shout out He Who Remains. Uh, this is my giveaway, super chat giveaway. I have some other things that's added, so it's going to be actually pretty cool. But super chat giveaway, it's going to end in December. But this is the slab amongst other books that will be entered in. So if
Nice.
you want to be entered in, you can either be like He Who Remains and be a channel member, and you get multiple entries on everything, or you can do what he just did and put $10 because $2 gets you one entry, $5 gets you 3 entries, $10 will get him 6 entries in plus his channel members. He wants the book. It's going to have other stuff as well because we've reached a threshold, and I'm going to add another item. So I'm very happy to get that. Like I said, if the more super chats we get, the better, or more items we get. So I don't think I'll just add to it, make it like a medium box of like maybe a slab with some raw books, or 2 slabs and some raw. We'll see how high the super chats go. But I got to give He Who Remains his video for the super chat. So thank you. So appreciate you, He Who Remains, and anybody else that wants to enter, you just got to hit that button, or you could be a channel member and get automatically entered. Or if you don't want to do that, you can also hit me up on IG, and I can get you on the Cash App or Zelle or whatever you feel comfortable with, and add you to the list as well. But that's the slab. Like I said, we're gonna have more stuff for the channel. So appreciate He Who Remains and everybody else for watching. What I got going on that I know Chris is involved with, the hunt. We have the hunt this Friday, the road to Hustlemania. So this is the last show before Hustlemania. So definitely want to be there. Hustlemania is going to be a big show, but this is the road to Hustlemania. So you'll see what we got in store for you as well. So that I'll be on that. Friday, I will be on IG. So you can follow me on IG, but I'll be selling with Elite Comics 11. So we're doing a collector stash Thursday and Friday. I'll be on the Friday slot. So definitely come out, check it out. Come see what I got for sale. I got a lot of raw books. So if you want to get some good deals, be there. So it's going to be Friday, and I think my time slot is 8:30 Eastern. I have to double check, but 8:30 Eastern. So that's what I got going on. And I think I'm gonna do cookie shop on Sunday. It all depends if I have some inventory come in, and I purchase. But we'll see. But those 2 things are definitely the first 2 things. So that's what I got. Chris, you got anything going on?
Yeah, actually. So the hunt, obviously, like you said, on Friday, but then this weekend I'm going to the Rhode Island Comic Con. So Friday is the first day of the convention. So I'm going to be getting a couple of books signed, I think, that day. And then Saturday, I think, is going to be the big day as far as, meeting people. And then, getting some signs. So I'm going to, Kevin Eastman's there on Saturday. So going to have some stuff signed by him. And then, a couple of I think one of the actor that same day. And then also, I was gonna say, I'm also bringing, I think, either 1 or 2 CBCS slabs, because if you don't know, they're doing a reholder for, I think it's $10. So if you have a CBCS slab and you want to get reholder with a new label for $10 a book, you can get that done. And I don't know if there's tiers to it. So if you have a more expensive book, that might be other charges that get added in, but initially it's $10 per book. They're going to be at the convention, so I'm going to get a couple of books reholded, which is nice. And that deal, I think they said, is going until November 30th. So if you have books that are CBCS and you want to get them reholded, you got to go ahead and take advantage of that deal, because I'm sure that eventually it's going to end up going up after the 30th. So get those books.
It's probably going to be around the price of CGC. Probably going to be $25 to $50. Which I have a book that I talked to Chris about. My X-Men one. I don't mind saying it. My X-Men one. I actually thinking about it now. It's probably better for me to take advantage of that deal because, but I'm gonna have to figure out because the insurance for that book is very expensive. Like it's more expensive getting it for the insurance coming back. So that's something we could talk about next show because I still have time for people to do it.
Yeah. If you have a convention coming up and CBCS is going to be there, just bring it to the convention. Save yourself
you save a bunch of shipping money and stuff like that. But it's something to look into. It's not like something. So he says $10 smoking deal. He says they got to get some. He says I got more. I got more. He who remains. I got more for you, but I know you got that student loan, which I saw. I'm sorry. I feel bad for you about that. I know the pain about dealing with that. But yeah, man, that's what we got going on. I will talk more probably about CBCS and Loki. Probably just CBCS and Loki.
Unless
something else happens, because Loki will be over, and then we can talk about CBCS. Make sure you get you guys reholders in, because that'll be, I think, we have like 2 weeks left, I think, to do it. Like I said, I'm probably going to take advantage. I just got to figure out that money wise, because it's great to pay $10. Well, it was $11 for me, but it's great to pay that amount. But I don't want to pay $140 in insurance on a book, which I might. We'll have to figure that out. But definitely binge it. You remain binge it. Yeah, I would actually wait till after the episode tomorrow. Then you can binge 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Then you can binge 4 episodes.
I'll say this much too. Another thing to consider if you're going to do the CBCS thing is that it started in October. I think it started October 12th, or when they dropped the new labels. But the thing is that I'll say is that if you're considering doing it, I would do it I would do it quickly just to get it out there. Just because once you get to, so not this week, but next week, I would say was it next week? When is Thanksgiving? Basically, once you get to like when Thanksgiving is, and if you're trying to ship it out, I would say from the 20th on, it's probably going to be tough to do just because you have Thanksgiving, and then you're going to have Black Friday, and then Cyber Monday. And it's just like, and so the mail's going to be backed up like crazy.
It's all about location. I can tell you all about location, because for me, it takes 2 days to get something to their location, because I'm in Louisiana and they're in Texas. Because I sent them something and it got there today. I sent them something Monday and got there today. So like, if you're this like you said, just be advised on the time frame. I mean, if you're far away, send it a few days before. I would say the 20th. So we'll talk more about it, but get those in. I'm gonna play a little video for something that's going on in the fall, which we're in the fall.
Yes.
But shout out to, not a channel sponsor, but I do a lot of business with them with selling from their platform on Instagram. But they're gonna have an AtCon. So AtCon is a virtual convention where you can buy books, and it's like 4 days. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of selling, and usually the time frame it's like, I know Friday and Saturday and Sunday is basically all day. So, and Thursday kicks it off. I don't know if Thursday will be all day, but it's going to be a lot of time of selling. They don't have the date locked down yet, but they do have so it's going to happen, I would say, probably in the next, because winter starts in December. So I'm guessing it's going to be from now until the official date of winter. So look forward to the next, like when the dates drop sometime maybe this month. But that's it, man. Appreciate you guys watching Graphic Content. We're gonna be cutting out after that video plays. And thank you to He Who Remains and everybody in the chat. Y'all have a great rest of the week. Peace.